CZ Media Podcast is brought to you by Rancho Bravo Tacos. They make it really easy to get great tasting Mexican food. You can stop by any one of their 3 convenient locations, Capitol Hill, U District, Wallingford, or you can order through Uber Eats, Caviar, or Chow Now. You can also text RBT to the number 474747 and you'll get deals on tacos, burritos, and more. All of the information is in the show notes.
Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm feeling mean, gonna make an ugly scene. Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean.
Milk was a bad choice.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the CZ Media Podcast. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the show. iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. It is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio, yeah.
iHeartRadio is taking forever to reply.
Oh.
So, but I'm wanting to put it on iHeartRadio as well.
Did you try sliding into their DMs?
No, I just sent them an email.
That's what I heard is really big these days with the kids.
Be like, hey, iHeartRadio, what's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
ASL? Is that?
Is that still you're not that old.
Oh,
That's a me thing.
yeah, oh, okay.
That was
Hey,
how
man, I was on the tail end of the AIM phase. Yeah. Foo Fighter guy, 124. I can say that now because I think they terminated AIM now.
Are they gone? I don't think they're fully gone. I think people still have
Really?
email addresses.
That's a lie.
I think so. We should probably look it up. I need a producer to look stuff up. I think
Producer. Where's your intern?
I should pretend I have one.
Yes.
But yeah, the ASL, that's so funny. It's like you would go into those chat rooms and every 10 minutes someone would want to get it started again.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's what's.
And then you'd say that you're 19 years old, even though you're 14.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. Does that happen anymore in that way?
Probably not. I can't imagine.
Like, I know that there's forums, Reddit.
Yeah.
There's forums which are almost, but not real.
It's not the same.
Is real time?
Yeah.
Is Reddit real time? Like you can have a conversation.
I think so. It's just like a community chat thread. Like I'm not a huge Redditor, so I couldn't tell you too much about it. But
yeah, I don't know anything about it either. But I sort of thought that you could sort of do it. I mean, yeah, there's definitely ways, but I
just don't think people care about other people in that way anymore.
It's more.
They're just like, oh, you're a minor. No, okay, whatever. It's fine. Let's just.
Someone should bring that back.
Let's do it right now. Okay.
Like what took its place? Like Craigslist?
Yeah. Craigslist personals.
The Craigslist personals. The missed connections. The raves.
Ranting raves. Or
rants,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, rants.
Have you ever written one of those?
No, but I used to read them all the time.
I wrote one rant once.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was
where
it about?
some guy cut me off, or I don't know, made me, I waited to express my road rage until I got home and I wrote a 2-paragraph thing of how people are horrible drivers.
And now we just moved that onto our Facebook post.
Yes. They're funny. Those Craigslist ads are pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you ever just peruse the best of Craigslist?
I used to. I haven't done it in a while.
You get some people are just bonkers insane. I did years ago. I was doing a art project and I wanted to photograph heavily tattooed people.
Okay.
And I put an ad on Craigslist saying, hey, I'm doing this art project and I'm looking for heavily tattooed people. Like there will be nudity. Like if you're okay with it, let me know. Or actually what I said is send me examples. Okay. Like send me just some shots of you.
Dick pics for galore.
Yes. The first 10 to 15 emails that I received were dudes with little tattoos, but wieners. Like if they had a little star on the inside of their leg, they would just full on send me a picture of their wiener.
To be fair, you kind of opened that door though.
Well, I did, but I wasn't thinking that it was going to be that much.
The internet's a scary place. You crack that door, those penises are just going to knock that thing open.
You're just going to have dong flying at you. I must have, in the whole life of the ad, I must have gotten 30 maybe.
Yeah.
35 pictures of dudes.
But the idea was to get both genders, right?
Yeah.
And it was just all guys?
It was mostly, I got maybe 15, so it was 2-to-1 guys to girls. But the funny thing is that the people who emailed me weren't heavily tattooed.
Okay.
I think I have more tattoos than most of the people that sent me these pictures.
You were looking for like Travis Barker of Blink-182 type of level stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to do something like that, like full body. But I didn't get that. I got, girls sent me pictures
of their
with
butterfly
like
in the lower back.
Yeah, exactly. It's like butterfly or like stars across their shoulder. Yeah. It's like, no, this is not what I guess I should have posted an example of what I wanted.
I'm covered in ink, but look at these 2 doves I have tattooed of my feet that I did with my bestie.
What was the craziest one that I got? Was this dude sent me his picture and he was very erect and he was a white guy. Okay. His whole shaft was tattooed solid black. Except for the bell head.
He's just so fucking big.
Man, that is insane, isn't it?
That's
like that would hurt. Do you have tattoos?
No, I don't.
That would have to hurt.
Oh my God.
Hurt so bad.
I can't sign it. And you have to be hard to do right?
It's like a rubber band.
So do you like hire a fluffer to go and get that type of work done?
Well, if they did, they probably advertised for one on Craigslist.
Yeah, he was in the ad below yours.
Fluffer tat helper
guy.
It was that one was the craziest one, and I think I did reply to that one. I'm like, okay, I might be interested.
I'm just curious at this point.
I should look for it. I think I still have those pictures.
Buried deep in the archives.
Yeah, like in the stuff from 2012, I think. But that project didn't do too well. Yeah. But my next project did well, and I was accepted into the Seattle Erotic Art Festival.
Nice.
With a just slightly different project, but...
Did you use White Guy with Black Shaft?
No.
Oh.
No, I used what I did was I took... one of my old Polaroid cameras that makes a 4x5 print. And I took a few models and then I photographed their face up to their upper chest and then their torso and then their hip area.
That's rad.
And then I put those prints into little frames, put magnets on the frames, and then painted a canvas in metallic paint and then stuck them on there.
Interesting.
So then the idea was, the women, you could line up a woman and it would be a woman and line up a dude, but then you can mix and match.
Interesting.
And it was pretty, there was no meaning to it behind it. It was literally, hey, what can I do?
Right.
And that one made it.
And then the art nerds kind of go, oh, I totally understand the belief and the feeling you're getting out of this.
It's like I was ahead of my time for trans art.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Somewhere there's somebody who considers you the founding father of it.
Maybe, what that would be. I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
It was super cool because my wife and I went to the show, and when we got there, I arranged it right so they were in order, and then we would go walk around and then come back, and they would be all out of order. So people were playing with it, which was the idea. We must have done that a dozen times, and each time we came back, it was all played with. It was all disorganized. So I'm like, that's cool.
I keep going back to now of talking about all these guys who were sending pictures of their junk, and it's like if you turn that into artwork and you got into the Erotic Art Fest, that would have been like you'd have been the founding father of the dick pic.
Hey,
that ship has set sail now.
I am ahead of my time in multiple ways. Well, I am talking today with Dan Hawkcap.
Perfect.
Hawkcap?
You did it.
Sweet.
You get a gold star.
You know, if people see your name, they're not going to be able to pronounce it.
Exactly.
How many times a day do you have to tell people how to pronounce your name?
Well, now I just try to go by Dan so people don't have to address me by my last name. But man, if we're going back to the kids' days, oh God.
Not Mr. Hawkcap.
If someone addressed me as Mr., I feel like I would slap myself first and then them.
And then you're married?
Yep.
So they call your wife
Mrs. Hawkcap.
Mrs. Hawkcap.
Which I don't hear that very often. That's a little weird. Still weird to me.
When you hear it, do you say that's my mother?
No.
So yeah, I asked Dan. Dan is one of the most active guys that I know on social media.
I'm active and breaking down and trying to just live the dream, man.
You play everything. And not only do you play organized everything.
Competitively, yeah, as much
which
as
is crazy because Travis, he plays a lot of basketball and a lot of softball, and he does play on a league for softball, but for basketball he just goes to the gym and plays. But you play.
I play competitively. I go at it.
What's your favorite, or what do you do? Which ones do you?
So I would say my natural habitat as a basketball player, but at 5'10" and 220 pounds, that was something that was better when I was 18.
Yeah,
and I was much more leaner. I find a really strong passion for baseball. Not to knock on your boy Travis, but I'm playing baseball. This is hardball stuff. Okay, I'm not just looping in these little 5-mile-an-hour blooper pitches.
He said he told me the other day he got hit with a line drive right in the shin.
Those hurt just as much in softball as they do baseball.
So you're saying that baseball players look down on softball players?
Yes.
But
hold on, let me make sure I repeat that. Yes, baseball players look down on softball players.
But aren't the majority of softball players
former baseball players? It's
former or chicks?
Well, so yes. All the guys who played baseball like in high school, now they all have full-time jobs, they all have wife, kids, all that stuff, but they still want to go do stuff with their friends, so they're going to go play softball. You don't have to warm up your pitching arm, like you don't have to go and stretch and go and pitch and throw 60, 70, 80 pitches in a game. Similar as like a catcher where you're gonna have to put on catcher's gear and squat down and try to catch a curveball that's coming at you, especially when you have to go and
that's a lot of work.
You have a lot of work that you have to still go to your job the next day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of commitment. So softball is just easy because you don't have to do that type of work.
Who drinks more beer?
Oh, softball players for sure.
I think they have beer in the dugout.
Well, I feel like if you don't have beer in the dugout as a softball team, then I feel like you're there for all the wrong reasons.
You're right. You haven't quite committed to playing baseball. Like you might as well.
Right. If you still got that itch, man, just go out there and go play some real baseball.
Do you ever play softball?
Not really. It doesn't scratch that competitive itch that I want. And I'm a pitcher on my team, and so I really enjoy that chess game between that pitcher and the hitter, even though I can barely throw a strike. Also, that hitter, he can barely hit the ball. So we're kind of still on level playing fields.
So you pitch.
Yeah.
That's a scary position.
And I'm left-handed, so it's also really valuable strategically as being a left-handed pitcher, because then I can actually go and throw to first base to try and get a runner. And I have an actual advantage being left-handed compared to a right-handed pitcher.
When did you start pitching?
I had never played baseball in my life until I joined this men's league.
Oh.
And I was, the league is the Puget Sound Senior Baseball League that we do it here in Seattle, so it's all over the place. And they have multiple competitive ranges. You'll have guys who used to play pro ball, guys who played college ball, high school ball, and some guys who have no experience. Yeah. But these rosters are big, so you can't just grab like 17 of your friends and put together a team and go play. Like people just don't have that many friends. I mean, if they do, I envy them. But so you have to do a tryout.
That sounds horrible, actually.
Yeah, it does actually sound a little horrible. But so you actually have to do a tryout. And so there's these people who are actually watching this grown, I'm a middle-aged man now trying to go and take a ground ball and throw it to first base. And I'm like, all these other adults, we all have to go to work tomorrow. Like, oh, I need to go see how good you look. All right.
The beignet comes out beforehand.
Totally. And I impressed enough people where I got drafted in the advanced division.
Oh.
So keep in mind that I never played baseball before, never seen a fastball coming out of a pitcher's hand. And I got drafted into guys who used to play independent professional baseball. So just below the minor leagues. They played competitive high school ball.
What do you think impressed them about you?
I think honestly, I don't know.
Just the overall athleticism, maybe?
Maybe. I played basketball and I was still younger then, so I think I could move around still quite a bit. So.
Like you had a little bit more spring in your step.
I think I had a little more spring in my step. I think too, it's just like showing that I probably wanted to learn, and I'm competitive.
So how long ago was this?
This was probably 6 years ago. Because
I thought like the pitching, you don't just do it. You don't just do it. Yeah.
No. And I did. So suck it.
Did they say you're going to be a pitcher?
Yeah, I told them that's what I wanted. I was like, hey, I want to pitch. This is what I want to do. And I wanted to learn how. I want someone to teach me. And I was super lucky that one of the guys who played on the team played in independent baseball professionally and who was a coach collegiately. And so we had guys, they had one dude who played in the Chicago Cubs farm system. He made it and he played, I think, single A. And then there was another dude who played independent ball, and we did a bunch of things like that. And so they kind of took me under their wing.
Right. So you got some direction.
And I got a little bit of direction.
Yeah. Well, that's important because you want to hurt yourself.
Well, no. Yeah. You kind of have to have a certain idea of what you're doing. And that was something that I loved being there. Like, I love standing on that mound, and you have 8 other guys around the field on your team. Is like going, all right, Dan,
waiting for you.
Don't screw this up.
It's all up to you.
And I did screw it up quite a bit in the early years, and I still screw it up now.
Hit people?
Yeah, you hit people.
Oh.
Yeah, just walk. Honestly, walking guys is just the worst because you're helpless. You can't do anything. You can't throw a strike, and these guys are just rounding the bases. And
right.
That's just the worst.
Growing up, there was only a handful of times where we tried to play baseball, and it was like in the street with the broom and a little ball.
Well, that's like New York style, like stickball or something.
We would do that, but never played in the. We didn't have a. Did we? Not that I knew of. We didn't have a nearby park or a ballpark to go to. We would play basketball.
Yeah,
but even when the rare opportunities were there that we did play, I was too chicken. I was too chicken to pitch because I was afraid that it was just going to come right back at me and hit me in the face.
Yeah.
And I was too chicken to hit because I didn't want the ball to hit me.
Right.
I was too chicken to be first base because they're going to throw it to you all the time.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be like out in
the outfield,
out in the right field, left field, and just
with me being left-handed, there was only a certain amount of positions that I can play that actually has an advantage. That's it's difficult for me to play other positions.
Yeah.
As a left-hander, you cannot play third base, you cannot play shortstop, and you cannot play second base
because you're throwing it across your body.
Exactly. You have to like turn your body, and just that timing is the difference from out and safe. So as a lefty,
there's never been. Are you saying there's never been
like at the major league level?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And it's almost like if I play shortstop on my team now as a left-handed shortstop, and I'm sure we'll talk about how the difference between pros and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's it's almost like everyone looks at you funny. You're like, dude, what? It's like my pants are down. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing out there?
Doesn't seem right.
You don't belong here. And
like there is something not right about this.
Exactly.
So I just remembered what I used to do. No one ever taught me how to catch.
Like catch a ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never played catch with my dad, but I did have a glove, and I would catch. I had a right-handed glove. I caught with my right hand, and then I would take my glove off, get the ball, and throw with my right.
You did the Jim Abbott. Jim Abbott had to do that, but he also didn't have a hand.
So he had a real excuse.
Yeah, he had a real excuse. So Jim Abbott was a pitcher for a number of teams in the major leagues who only had one hand.
Yeah.
And so he would hold the ball. He would like put the glove in his nub of like his left hand, and then he would throw, and then he would quickly put his right hand back in the glove and be able to field. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
And he made it to the.
He played in the majors for a
Wow.
number. He had like a
Did he
long
lose
career.
his hand while
At
he
birth,
played?
I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know the whole story, but
I need to look this guy up.
oh, the guy's a legend.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
That he was that good, that his process worked.
And he made it, yeah.
That is nuts. No, I did it because I just didn't know what I was doing. I just didn't know. And it wasn't until so Travis and I, another buddy that played in a softball league, he asked me to play once, and I'm like, okay. And that was the first time I had to catch with my left hand and throw.
How'd that go?
You know, because I can't run.
Right.
They had me be catcher, but
That's
I
fine.
can't squat down either.
You're not supposed to squat down as a catcher in softball.
So yeah, I was pretty much just standing there.
Yeah.
And I did fine.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty nerve-wracking.
Were there beers involved?
Not afterwards.
That's fine.
Afterwards there were.
That's fair.
It's very nerve-wracking being a catcher, throwing the ball back to the pitcher. Yeah. I would always,
Well, just think about it from a baseball perspective. Someone tried to steal a base on you, you got to try and throw it to that base.
That's one of the things that I'm the most jealous of are those catchers, although they end up having knee problems later on. But how they can just spring up and throw. Like that move, that's such a violent movement.
Oh, yeah. The league I play in, they have age ranges up in the 50s and 60s. There's dudes who are 70 years old who are catching 9 innings.
Holy moly.
It just blows my mind away.
Are they hurting afterwards?
I have no idea. I don't play with them yet.
Wow.
But there's guys there, and they're up there.
No, that's
Still doing their thing.
That is nuts. It's it is a really like you're contorting. First of all, you're in the very unstable, off balance to then spring up and then rotate
just
to throw.
Explode to turn your body and throw. Yeah.
One of my really good friends, Trisha, she owns the Arcaro gym.
Okay.
We mentioned it. She's a boxing coach, and right now I think she just has a couple amateurs. She doesn't have a pro fighter right now.
Right.
But her what she really focuses on is called functional patterns, which is the study of biomechanics.
Interesting.
So she's all about what you're doing be as centered as possible.
Just being balanced completely.
Being
right?
balanced.
Totally.
And
that makes perfect sense.
Because I have horrible knees, and if I stand up, like if I stand up for more than 20 minutes, I would get my lower back would just get really tight.
Yeah.
And I trained with her, and I was just standing there, and then she identified where I was all off kilter. So she's like, your shoulders and hips are over your knees. So you're always having you're almost toppling over.
Right.
So she helped me identify a few things that is really helped.
That's awesome.
If I were to just stick with it, she could help me maybe even punch better.
There we go.
But no.
Yeah. A topic for another day.
It is. So one of the cool things that you do is you're always active, and I am on a renewed quest to get back down to. If I got down to 230, I would be happy.
Yeah.
But right now, that's quite a ways away.
Yeah.
So how best to do that than to talk to people who are always doing stuff? Maybe some of your motivation will rub off.
Yeah,
to actually.
Absolutely. And I can't consider myself I'm be the opposite of the health expert, because I could also tell you, I would love to lose about 20, 30 pounds myself. And to me, activity obviously isn't going to be the thing it is. It's always going to be the diet that people are going to tell you. And that's true. But one thing that I've always kind of thought about too, is that being active and doing that also prevents you from doing that snack eating that just kills you.
Yeah.
And so like, oh yeah, you went and ran X amount, or you went and did this and you burned like 200 calories. Like, yeah, but I also didn't eat like 400 calories worth of chips and salsa.
Right.
So you know what? That's actually, I just lost 600.
Exactly.
So there's that's part of the reason why I really enjoy being doing that active stuff, like there's a part I have to do my normal job and I have to go do that and work and be a contributing member to society.
Yeah, it's the
activity part is what gets my mind stimulated outside of just the monotony of that life.
that's your it's not escape, but that's your
No, it is an escape to a certain degree.
Okay.
I think it's a good way, but I'm not necessarily like running from something. It's for me to get that juice, just like, oh, this is what I do to make me feel alive.
Yeah.
I don't working is not what I do to define me, you know,
Right.
and I'm not going to just go sit on the couch and just let life pass me by either. So I always try to set a goal for myself of what I want to try to accomplish. And, you know, eventually baseball is going to be done. Like I'm not going to do that anymore. And I already know my next goal is I'm going to start mountain climbing. And that's what I really want to do. And that's my next thing, is that my goal is to go and summit Rainier.
Okay.
And I know that's going to require me to go and drop about 20 pounds, 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's something that I really want to be able to do and try to do that at some point in my life.
That is super cool.
And so that's another bucket list thing.
Do you hike now?
Little, very little. But my dad's a badass hiker.
Okay.
You know, he went and hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, which takes you from Mexico to Canada.
Yeah.
And he did that in like 5 months with 2 back fusions and a neck surgery. And he's like, screw it.
Just cuz?
Just cuz.
On his own?
Yep. Did it all by himself.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So that's where your bit of nuttiness comes from.
Yeah, oh yeah. My family's a little screw loose, that's for sure. Oh yeah. I love him to death. But yeah.
That is crazy. Isn't that the trail that Reese Witherspoon
Yep.
movie?
Totally. It's funny. When that movie came out, my dad kind of eye rolled. He was like, "Oh, now everyone's going to be going and doing that hike."
I think they did for a bit.
Yeah, it was really popular.
They probably. I'm curious as to how many actually finished it.
Gosh, my dad told me the numbers about it, but I think it's a little different now. But I think before the movie, it was a little more to committed hikers and doing things. I think it was like 500 would start, 200 would finish, or something like that. So there's quite a big drop off.
Have you done some of it or
No,
been there?
I've never done any of it.
No. Is it all flat?
No. I mean,
You are climbing mountains almost.
Yeah, for the first chunk, you are going through the Mojave Desert, so you're going out there just getting killed the sun, and then after that, you're going up and down the Sierra Nevadas. The only easy part is Oregon, which is relatively flat because you're not really dealing too much with the Cascade Mountains yet. That's once you hit Washington, you're doing that same thing again.
Huh. So how do you? Like, what does your dad say he did? Like a strategy. How do you eat? Like, how do you?
You pack really light, so it's a lot of freeze dried food, and you're eating some of the same stuff over and over and over again.
So it took him how long?
Like 5 months.
So he packed 5 months worth of food?
No, so you have to get people to resupply you. So along this path, there's places where like little depots and pit stops. That you can have people ship you like a package that's going to give you a bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay.
My dad, when he came back, man, he looked like he had, just gone through like chemo or something like that because he had dropped so much weight. Like he probably weighed maybe 200, 210 when he left.
Yeah.
And he probably weighed 160 when he came back, and his shirt's just hanging off of him.
When did he do this?
This was probably 5-6 years ago or something.
Holy cow! So it's not like.
Oh no, it wasn't like back in the day. Like,
I'm thinking like
he was late 40s.
That is, you should do it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so lazy.
I'm
self-admitted lazy.
My dad I've never had a tattoo, like we mentioned earlier. My dad's never had a tattoo, but he was after that type of experience. That's what brought him to get a tattoo. And I think it would take something like that for me as well to go and have something that I want to have labeled onto me. Like it's a big.
See, I'm the opposite. I would rather.
You're all about it.
I'd rather get a tattoo than go for a hike.
I just spilled my beer. But I love it though.
Yeah, I love tattoo. Yeah, it says I want to get that motivation going. And I bought a spinning bike a couple weeks ago, a week ago. And I've used it 3 days a week. But the lazy is hard.
Dude, it's so hard. And I think it's just trying to find that passion and just finding whatever a goal is. And sometimes like if it's, you know, if you wanted to go see this blank destination, like to me, I would love to see what that view from Rainier looks like. It doesn't so much matter to me what, like, I want to just go mountaineering because I want to lose weight. It's like, there's sort of this viewpoint that I'm like, there's something there that only a select amount of people ever get to say they get to see.
Yeah, it's the experience.
It's the experience. And I think like any professional athlete and any, you know, buddy who's like in great physical shape, they're not doing it to have the body. They do it because they love the grind.
And
like,
it's just it's the result of.
Yeah, like a professional boxer. He doesn't, you know, I'm sure the glitz and the glam and the lights are great, but that guy truly appreciates the sparring and he loves the training.
Yeah, well, that's
he
how
loves
it should
the grinding.
be, at least.
That's how, right. But I think anybody who's a truly, you know, master of their craft, they like the grind more than they like what the outcome is.
Right.
You know, and I think that's something to be said about that. Like,
yeah, and I think that you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, or there's just something that's different. Like, you know, maybe a boxer's not going to want to go and play baseball, like, and you try to put him down a baseball path, he's never gonna be motivated.
Yeah,
you know, that doesn't hit his passion, and it's just continuing to, I guess, be open-minded and experience different things. And who knows, the thing that you may find that triggers that goes, oh, I found it, boom, now that's what I'm pursuing for the next however many years.
No,
it just takes time.
To me, it would be, let's give this a go, and then I would do it for a little bit, and then I'd be like, all right, what's next? Like I did years ago, I did stick to cycling for over a year. Yeah. I did a bunch of rides. So that's why I bought that's why I bought the spinning bike. Yeah. And you know, I still have my cleats, so I click in, and it's a pretty good workout.
My wife loved cycling for quite a while. She went and did the STP. That was one of her goals, like bucket list.
Oh, she did it?
She did it.
Did you go with her?
No way.
On a tandem?
I wanted zero part of that. I don't do the endurance thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what mountain climbing's gonna do.
I know, which I'm gonna probably have a really rude awakening on that, but like, she's ran a half marathon. She's rode her bike, did the STP. She is all sorts of badassery that I just cannot seem to compete with.
That is super cool. Did she go with the group or just?
She did the STP with her mom.
Holy mackerel.
And then she did the half marathon just by herself.
Yeah.
One of like my dad's like ex-girlfriend ran it too. Like they kind of did it together.
The ex-girlfriend and your mom?
I said that bad. My dad's ex-girlfriend and Nikki, my wife, they ran the half marathon together. But it wasn't like, hey, let's do this thing together. It's like the planets aligned and now we're doing this.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Have you ever done a half marathon?
No. I think I did a 10K once. That was miserable.
I've only done a 3K.
Yeah.
And I did it in Puerto Rico in the summer.
That sounds like hell.
I have zero cartilage in my left knee.
Oh, yeah. So
and no meniscus.
Yeah.
And I damaged it when I was 18 or 19. Yeah. So it's been hurt forever. So then because of that, because of 20 years of compensating, I now have really bad arthritis in my right knee too.
Yeah.
So I'm all messed up.
Yeah.
So if, even low, I do the bike because it's low impact on the knee. But even then it swells up and it'll hurt for 2 days. Yeah. Like I don't know. I'm pretty much in pain every day. Yeah. It hurts every day. And now, but it's because of the weight.
Right. Now it's at that point, it's that.
But then I went and got an MRI on it, or I went and had an orthopedic guy look at it a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I said, it said it sucks because I don't exercise because my knee hurts. And my knee hurts because I exercise.
Right.
And then add
it's like the depression
and
eating. It's the depression eating thing. Like, I'm overweight because I'm depressed, and I'm depressed, so I eat, and it's that vicious cycle.
It's like, so what do you do? And he he said that I'm like 5 years away from needing a replacement. Mm. So I said, why don't you just do it now?
Right.
And he said, no, it's better to wait as long as possible because your first knee replacement will last like 15 years. but then the second one you get lasts about 5 years.
It's like exponentially gets shorter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you'll need. So he's like, just wait as long as possible because you don't want to have another one shortly there. Like,
right.
Prolong it as much as possible,
right.
basically. So I'm like, that sucks. And it's like, I'm hoping for some mega breakthrough in
medicine,
stem cells.
Totally. Yeah, I did my ankle really bad playing basketball, and I got arthritis in my left ankle. I got a bad disc in my back. There's definitely things like adversity. I think a lot of people who want to try to be active.
Yeah.
But I think it's just never losing sight of those goals, and I think if the mental part is always the hardest, and trying to will that, and sometimes your body can't do the things that your mind wants to do, but you just find a way to find that balance and make it work.
Well, let's talk more about sports.
Let's do it.
But let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
When I needed updated content for my small business website, I was worried because I didn't have a very large marketing budget. But then I found Carlos at CZ Media. He gave me a budget-friendly quote and delivered the high-quality content I was looking for. I would recommend you check him out. All of his information is in the show notes.
And we're back.
Oh, all right, here we go. Whew.
Actually, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just like, how are we doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
Awesome.
How do you think we're doing?
I feel like we're doing all right.
It's I think so.
You're the expert, though.
Actually, what's so funny, when I did my 10th show, I did it with Dan, with my buddy Dan, and I said, we are now podcasting veterans. We have 10 shows.
You're now in the double digits. What episode is this?
This is going to be 35, I think.
Dude.
35, and almost all of them have been this year. So I've
you
been
got
consistent.
some sponsors too. Like
got a few sponsors. Always trying to get more. The show's growing. We every time. Well, it's like anything. It's like social media, where if you post regularly, your followers or your audience will grow. So I've noticed in the analytics that if I do post twice a week, there's a big uptick. But then if I don't post for a week, then it drops.
I will tell you, my mother's probably going to listen to this podcast like 100 times over. So you're probably going to get a weird spike in your analytics.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. That is super awesome. Although, she's like,
she'll share it to everybody.
She'll say, Dan, were you talking about penises at the first?
She won't be that surprised.
Were you talking about tattooed shafts?
Yeah, it's not the worst thing she's seen in my internet history.
That's funny. So you play. Do you watch sports too?
I do, but it's hard. It's hard to watch professional sports nowadays. Because how the professional game has evolved so much. I think with baseball and basketball is coming up too, the analytics have changed the game so much.
Yeah.
We talk a lot within baseball. The sabermetrics is the hot topic, and they talk about all these different advanced analytics that help measure a player's performance, help measure a team's performance, and how do we sort of judge what is best.
Yeah.
And sort of strategies of the old days of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and stuff like that, they've kind of gone away because some of the advanced analytics for these types of players are showing that you should not adjust your swing based on what type of pitch count that you're at. For example, if you have 2 strikes, you only got 1 swing left, so you better try to make sure you get contact.
Yeah.
You want to put it out there. But
so just swing for the fences.
But if you're a professional, that doesn't really apply to you because you are a prime athlete. You are a great hitter already.
Yeah.
Why should you change your mental approach when you are already one of the most skilled people in that? So you shouldn't change.
Gotcha.
So these guys now, the professionals are, they're striking out a lot more because they're not changing the swing, but they're also hitting a lot more home runs. And so they're getting, that's majority of what you're seeing nowadays is a lot of home runs. You're getting a lot of strikeouts. Whereas someone like myself or high school kids or the college game, even still, those are great athletes. They're still playing a little more of the old school style baseball where you have to drop a bunt down to move your runner over to scoring position and try to do those types of things in order to allow your team to win the game.
Right. More strategy.
More
based.
strategy and trying to just play that. The professional games just changed so much. And so as much as I like it, I like watching, I like going to Mariners games and I watch it with my friends and do all that. The relatability isn't there anymore. And so that makes me not.
Is it
want
the
to tune
related?
in.
Does that mean like the fun is gone? So
A little
now,
bit.
like now,
It feels more like a job, like the professional game.
you don't pretend to play manager of saying, okay, there's this many outs, we need runners here and here.
Kind of, but
that's kind of gone.
But my manager brain is different from what the manager brain of the majors.
Right.
Obviously, you know, because I would sit there and I go, okay, this is Puget Sound Senior Baseball League. Here we go. Like, I have to, if I can get this ball down on the ground to the third baseman, there's a 50-50 shot. He's not even going to reach the first baseman. He's going to throw it over his head, and then we're going to all round the bases. We're all going to score, and we go home. That doesn't happen in the major leagues, you know? Like, everything is perfect. So there's no reason to even try to put that ball on the ground to see if they're going to make a mistake, because that happens 0.05% of the time.
Right. So you better just
swing.
Just swing.
Just because what's the worst that can happen? Like, you hit a lazy ground ball anyway? That's what's going to happen.
Then something needs to change in baseball.
Then that's what they're probably trying to do. And, you know, they've thought about adjusting like the defensive positioning. Right now, doing the shift is really popular, where they're moving fielders from one side of the field. They're moving it to the other side of the field based on what that hitter's performance historically does.
That's new?
It's not, I'd say the last 10, 15 years.
Okay.
You know, and it's just bigger now.
Yeah.
Everything that we saw 10 years ago is just exponentially grown. So almost every left-handed hitter, they're going to take literally almost every player and move him over to the right side of the field because he only pulls it. That's the strategy. And so if you already know he's not going to hit it to left field,
then why is someone there?
why even put anybody over there? Just put him over there. And so there's rule. They're trying to think of rules of, do you eliminate that? Do you eliminate that strategy of the game? And it's kind of a tough subject right now in the baseball world. But
That's weird.
it's just different, you know, of how the games have adjusted. Like, the internet age has brought a whole lot of different things, and part of that
that's
is
a lot to think about.
It is, yeah.
When I'm at ball games, I always thinking of when am I gonna go get another beer?
Yeah,
spend $12 on a beer.
That's to me, that's more of that's what it's about. You're hanging out with your friends. You're gonna go and do that, and if you watch a handful of at bats and have a good time. But if you want to actually truly feel like you're a part of the game, just go play it yourself.
No, I'll play. No.
Trust me, I've seen guys in much worse shape than you playing in my league.
I play on my phone. I have a game called
Candy Crush.
No, MLB TSB 18.
Yeah,
That's as close to playing baseball as I get.
there you go.
And I'm good.
They're starting to kind of, I'm curious what will happen in the basketball world over the next 10 years, because analytics is starting to play a little bit more into that. The Houston Rockets right now are making their run. A lot of that is based on basketball analytics and what they are finding in their studies.
I was surprised to see that they're tied.
Yeah. Because they play the game a little differently.
I hate basketball now.
Yeah. Well, I share that sentiment with you. Ever since the Sonics got ripped out of Seattle, not that I'm bitter, but you know, Clay Bennett and all those guys and Howard Schultz, and they can all.
Yeah, whose
do
fault
bad
was it
things.
really?
I think
Schultz.
it's a collective effort of complete buffoonery. I would put a lot of it though on the local government, the Seattle government. They kind of took a buyout that was a complete just. I think it was a slap in the face to the public.
Seattle doesn't know how to do anything.
That's a good point.
Well,
when it comes to the political,
well, even
thing,
with the thing that they're, even with the upgrades that they're doing now,
yeah,
I've read a couple articles that they're already like $100 million over budget.
Oh no, it's way more than that.
Is it?
Yeah, they was originally projected at $500 million, and the last report I saw is that it's at $900. The good news is that it's all privately funded. Like, it's not coming out of taxpayers, and that was the big thing.
I don't know. That'll change.
I'm sure they'll find a way to change it.
They'll and it's well behind schedule.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So So yeah, who knows? I mean, Seattle is the only team Seattle really cares about are the Hawks, I think.
Right now, well, I mean, it's easy to not root for the Mariners because they have not been relevant in almost 20 years.
Yeah. That's one of the things that's so funny. They celebrate that, is it 95
95,
season?
man.
They celebrate that
like
95.
we won the World Series. I don't even think we even made it to the American League Championship Series that year.
They celebrated every chance they get. Come celebrate Edgar Martinez's first base hit.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
Yeah. Here's a bobblehead. Come buy it. Here's what I'm doing now. I've decided that with whenever I go to games, I have people wear their favorite players' jerseys and stuff like that. And now I'm doing a giant troll job on basically everybody. And it's kind of mostly like a tip of the cap to the old school fans.
Yeah.
Is that now I bought a player's jersey for who is historically bad. And there's, a lot of the old school Mariners fans from back like in the 90s, they'll remember a name, Bobby Ayala, who was a closer for the Mariners.
Yeah.
And the rumor was that he was dating Lou Pinella's daughter, who is the manager.
Yikes.
And so
that might be a bad idea.
So he kept Bobby Ayala in the game, and he was just terrible. He gave up game after game after game. Like he, it's not a bobblehead, but he had like a Bobby Ayala night. It was like, hey, this is Bobby Ayala's night. So they brought him in to get the save, but he blew the game on his own freaking night.
That's big pressure.
Yeah. But that's also
nuts.
Bobby Ayala. So
you have one?
So I went and got myself a custom-made Bobby Ayala jersey to wear to Mariners games, and every now and then I wore it a couple weeks ago, and you hear some people going, Ayala, get out of here!
That's funny. That's a good trend. You should start this trend.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's so who else would there be?
So, I mean, for the Mariners, there's always a handful, there's so many Mariners. You could always go the Dustin Ackley route, who is a more recent guy, Justin Smoke. Go old school, Dave Valley, the rally killer.
The rally killer.
There's so many. I mean, you just go forever.
That's funny.
I went and bought a Seahawks jersey, who was historically bad player from the early 90s, who is Rick Meyer, who wore the number 3 jersey. And I swear to you, I wore it around CenturyLink one day, and this girl goes, "Oh, you got a Russell Wilson jersey?" And then I heard some other guy goes, "Fuck that guy, it's Rick Meyer!" Like, that was basically it wasn't right tandem. It was like within a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Is that girl talked to me, and then 2 minutes later, here's this guy wanting to beat my ass.
So he was genuinely upset about this? He didn't see the irony?
No, he was just messing with me, It was just all fun and games. But
I'm trying to think for like Bulls who were bad Bulls in the 90s.
There's no such thing as bad Bulls in the 90s.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't.
Yeah. Whoever your human victory cigar was, Bill Cartwright?
I always wondered how he was in the NBA.
He's a bruiser, the 3-headed monster. They were brought in there just to goon people.
He looked like he was 60 years old when he was like 25.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was a bunch of bad players in 88.
Yeah, and the Bulls weren't good in 88.
They were.
Well, they were decent, but they didn't win anything.
No, but they made it to no, it was 80, 89 and 90.
Okay.
Where they made it to where the Pistons beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Gotcha. Jordan just took an ass beating from
he did
Lampier and Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman.
He bulked up.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the video of him in 89, 90, skinny.
Scrawny guy, yeah.
And he hit that weight room. I have a DVD set, and it is a DVD set of the history of the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
And I watch it all the time.
It's still a little soft subject for me too, because I remember that was the 72 win Bulls was the one that faced the Sonics in the finals.
Yeah.
And God, I love that Sonics team.
They had no chance though.
They had no but here's a fun fact for you. The Bulls only lost 2 consecutive games that entire season
Yeah.
And that was to the Sonics in the finals.
Right.
They did not lose back-to-back games that entire season.
Didn't some of the Bulls do something really dumb though, like go to Vegas in between games?
Who knows? Probably. Jordan liked to gamble.
Oh no, that was actually, never mind. That was the series, one of the series with Utah, where Dennis Rodman in between game 3 and 4, went to Vegas.
Nice.
And got mega hammered and then flew back and then was really good for that following game.
Yeah.
Man, I wish that basketball were at least a little bit like the way it used to be. I've complained about this so many times.
Yeah.
It's just so boring.
Well, it's just different now. The the stuff that you saw in the 90s, and now a lot of these guys who are in the NBA, they played against each other since they were like 7 years old.
Right.
In these AAU and these traveling leagues and these select leagues, like all this stuff, like they all have known each other since even high school days. They know. They know. It's not like how Barkley just saw Jordan and was like, hey, let's be friends, like back in high school. Like they never met each other.
Yeah.
And so when you're growing up, you're like, oh, this guy who I don't know, I don't have anything against this guy, but he's also not my buddy, so I'm gonna go at him hard. Yeah. Like that part, that's where that stem in the 80s and 90s is. These guys truly didn't really know each other until they got in the league.
Yeah,
maybe they knew each other in college if they were like in the same division. Yeah,
but there were so many that came from super small schools.
It is varied, Like Scottie Pippen came from Central Arkansas.
Yeah.
Drafted by the Sonics.
Was he? Oh, yeah,
you're welcome.
Was. Why did they trade him? Who did they trade him for?
Olden Polynice.
Ever heard of him? Olden Polynice.
Oh, that makes one of us. Well, even the fact that Sonics preferred Jim McIlvaine anyway. God.
That's so funny. Like I don't pay attention to the draft anymore because it seems like they're all duds.
Well, I mean, the draft is always going to be filled with duds. I mean, that's just how it is.
I can't name one first pick.
Well, Zion.
I don't know who that is.
He's the next, like, there has not been more hype around a draft player since LeBron. This guy's Zion Williamson out of Duke. I remember when LeBron got drafted in 2003, and it was just like, this guy's amazing. He's a megastar. He's all this and that. And then, you saw other players that come through, but no one had ever had the hype that ever saw, like when LeBron came. And then you're seeing this again with Zion.
Okay.
I don't think you'll see that same type of player, but just the stuff that Zion does, like he was a grown man playing amongst children. Like it was.
What position is he?
He's like big man. I think he's like power forward.
Okay.
But he's a big dude. Like I think he's gonna be the most heaviest guy in the league.
Huh.
Like weight wise. But he jumps out of the gym. Like he's a freak athlete. So I'm curious what he looks like after like his metabolism slows down when he's like 30 years old. Like how he adjusts. Because it happens to everybody.
Well,
he's not chiseled like a brick. Like he's got a little pudge to him.
He's got to learn how to control.
Yeah.
And he's got to identify when that happens and then modify for it.
Yeah.
It's just not fun to watch anymore. And there's so much traveling. There's so many stupid fouls.
It's almost becoming kind of comical watching the traveling.
Yeah.
Like seeing the highlights of James Harden and what he does. And he like does these 3 skips, a pirouette, 720 front salt, and then shoots the ball. And he gets called for the foul and hits it.
Actually, LeBron is, I hate him more.
Yeah, you're on the anti-LeBron wagon.
I despise. Who did I say? I said that, I told someone the other day that I wouldn't mind if LeBron.
You said it to Mo. You said it to Mo Cisse. I was listening to that episode. You're like, if he got hit by like Al Qaeda, like it would not bother you.
It would be okay. I was like, oh, that's too bad.
Can I say one thing to maybe try to alter your thought?
Sure.
Okay. I would say LeBron has never got hit with any scandals. He's never really been criticized as being a bad human. Overall, he's been just like a fairly stand-up dude, especially for the type of media hype he gets where he doesn't get a minute to himself.
Yeah.
I think it's very much understandable if he would be a raging dickhead to everybody, but he's not. Care. So I kind of give him, like, to me, I'm a LeBron fan, but...
He probably beats his wife.
But
she's too scared to say anything.
Right. But I will say that, he's like all superstars, mega athletes, that he's a baby.
What do you mean he's a baby?
Yeah,
They carried him off because he had cramps.
Right. Well, Paul Pierce got carried off in a wheelchair in the NBA Finals.
I don't like his game either. His game was too lumbering.
No.
It was like it's just the way he moved seemed really weird. I'm not a big I don't know. I'm a complete curmudgeon when it comes to basketball.
You a gamer at all?
No. When I'm drunk, I play Mortal Kombat.
Like the new stuff or the old stuff?
10.
10. Okay, that's new stuff.
I want to get 11, but I'm not very good at it.
Okay.
We just like to play when we have people over. We just play.
Yeah.
And so it's between that and Rock Band.
Oh well, yeah. What position are you playing? Position. Sorry.
Instrument.
What instrument?
I sing and the guitar.
Oh, do you do both at the same time?
I have.
Oh, there you go.
I have. I'm not good, but it's fun.
You play in easy mode?
Yes.
Yeah,
or sometimes I get brave and I do medium.
Yeah. Can I humble brag?
Cool.
Once upon a time, in my heyday of in my teen years when I did not have a life, I played on expert mode.
Did you?
I did.
For Rock Band or Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero.
The real one. I think Guitar Hero is
Guitar
more
Hero
intense.
2 was my jam.
What song was your favorite?
I really loved playing Primus.
Yeah.
Because I like Primus.
Like
but
Winona?
What's that? Winona's
Winona's beaver.
Winona's big brown beaver. I think so. That one, Cowboys from Hell, Pantera.
Okay.
Yeah. That was always fun to play, but my hands would hurt because I'm just
that's nuts.
That was.
I wish I could play the guitar for real. Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, I'm a guitar player.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I never took lessons, so I basically just play Foo Fighters and other Southern. I really like Southern California punk rock, so Social Distortion, Bad Religion. So basically, I just beat the shit out of my guitar and then just scream my balls off. That's.
Were you ever in a band?
In high school.
Yeah.
We were called The Last Chapter.
The Last Chapter.
Which is 2005 emo band, complete to the max.
When do you play now? Just for fun?
Just for fun. I have my acoustic guitar that sits out in the living room that's mostly an art piece.
Yeah.
And then people go, oh, whose guitar is that? And they're like, it's mine. Let me serenade you.
And then you'll start playing.
Yeah.
That's how my other buddy Dan is. He plays everything. He plays guitar, saxophone, trumpet, Indian drums.
Don't you just hate those guys? They just do everything.
So when he comes over and we're having a few drinks, I'll get the guitar because Lori has a guitar.
Right.
And then I'll say, here you go. And then he's like
make
play,
pretty.
Play monkey. Entertain me. But he'll a while ago I said, here, play the Desperado theme.
Oh.
And then he just had to listen to it for a little bit.
Oh, he's one of those.
And then he's like doing his stuff, and 10 minutes later he's like, here we go. And then that's neat.
Those people.
I can't do that. I have zero rhythm. I have zero musical ability.
Yeah. We most in high school we just mostly did covers, because I didn't really know how to write music.
Yeah.
And the kids that I played with, they barely even knew how to play their instruments in general. But there's this YouTube channel called The Axis of Awesome. Okay.
And they made this song called The Four Chords. Have you seen this?
No.
Well, they
enlighten me.
Basically, there's 4 chords that every major pop song has used for the past 30 years.
I think I have seen this. Maybe I have.
So the guy just plays the same chords over and over again, and then they sing 20 songs. And they're all the same.
I think I saw something similar to that where a guy played "Don't Stop Believin'."
Right, exactly.
And he just started doing all of
It's like "Don't Stop Believing," a bunch of Beatles songs. There's a ton. There's Toto. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Actually. So it's I could probably learn how to play that.
There you go. I really want to do piano lessons. That way I can start playing piano.
Yeah.
And I just want to show up to a Nordstrom just one day because they always have those pianos and just start playing. No, I'm fine. I got hired. Now listen to my Metallica cover on the piano of Enter Sandman.
Yeah, you should do that in your
Yes.
in your baseball uniform.
Now you're talking.
The piano playing baseball player
Guy.
or the bass. Yeah.
The piano ball player. Nope, that's not gonna work.
What games do you play?
I play a lot, but I'm an only child, so mostly it's very story driven.
Yeah, okay.
So I love a lot of games that it's almost kind of like reading a book.
Yeah.
And you get to see this character development, and you get to see a lot of things like that.
So you like campaign mode?
Campaign mode, yep.
Yeah, I don't like playing online.
I get really intimidated. Like
With
because
online?
with
or-
online, because some 10-year-old is just gonna talk
it's not fun.
obscenities about what he's doing to my mother.
It's
and
not
she's a nice lady, okay? She did her best.
Yeah, it's. I would attempt to play. What's that Microsoft game?
You're gonna have to come a little more specific than that.
The big one.
Like Halo?
Yeah.
All right.
Like I would play Halo a little bit online and get murdered every 10 seconds.
So I played. So this game I played on PS4. It was called Horizon Zero Dawn. And if it wasn't for, it was the same year that the new Legend of Zelda game came out, and so that game just won just a shit ton of awards.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Legend of Zelda that came out, I think Horizon Zero Dawn was going to win a bunch of these awards, and it's one of those really very cinematic. And I swear to God, like I nearly cried going through that because just the
you're the LeBron of gamers.
yeah. You should see me flop when I'm playing games, man. It's pretty insane. My cat comes in, I'm just like, blah.
Do you throw the controller?
So yeah, I do. And then I start crying to my wife, and she throws the cat outside.
No, I love campaign mode. I do. For PS3, I own pretty much all the Call of Duties.
Yep.
I stopped playing Call of Duty when it got weird. When you started doing like sci-fi stuff.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, they switch them up too, because they have they have the Black Ops, they have the Modern Warfare, which I think is the one that's more kind of weird.
For a long time they were pretty realistic,
Right.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But with one of the modern, or was it Black Ops? With one of the Black Ops, they when they started doing the weird sci-fi stuff.
Yep.
I checked out. I didn't.
Yeah.
There's this one campaign that I just could not beat, and then I just gave up.
Said,
and
F it.
I haven't put it back into the PS3 since.
Yeah. Did you play like a lot of the games like from back in the old days, the Super Nintendos and the Sega Genesis?
No.
64.
I own, actually I still have it and it works. I plugged it in the other day.
Nice.
My Atari 2600.
Okay, now we're going way back in the vault. Sorry, I didn't realize I had to buckle my seatbelt for that trip to memory lane.
Yeah, it still works.
All right.
I was playing Pac-Man on it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of games, so I had that, which it's so funny that my dad even bought it. It was like my original one.
Right.
And I opened it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's just one logic board with a few little chips and a couple resistors in there. It's so, I mean, it does not have to be that big.
Right.
It can be a quarter of how big it actually is.
Fit in the palm of your hand if you want.
Pretty much. It's literally like a 4x5.
Yep.
A 4x5 board. So I had that, and then my parents bought me, after much begging, just the regular old NES, and they didn't buy me any games.
Right.
So I just had Mario.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Okay.
They never bought me anything else.
But the reason why I ask is it's really interesting that's going on right now because the gaming world is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff that we're seeing, and like it's very in its infancy stage of how old video gaming, like that industry has been.
Yeah.
You think, the Atari, what was that? Early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
Right.
You compare that to other forms of entertainment that we ingest. You think of TV that's been around for over, for 100 years or whatever, maybe 75, whatever. Movies have been around forever. Music been around forever. They've had so much time to go through this growth and understand what their business model is and what their industry is going.
Yeah.
Where gaming is still figuring that out. And, it's like producing a movie nowadays. There's hundreds of millions of dollars are getting to make these Call of Duty games.
Right.
And
if it flops,
fails,
then the company will go bankrupt. Yeah.
And a lot of people are out of their jobs. Like it's a risky business right now.
What was the There was this one company that recently went out of business. I think it was just the online games, not console games, just computer games. I don't know. Do you watch any YouTube?
YouTube? Like just like shows
or gaming channels on YouTube?
I'll watch some streaming of esports. So like there's a game that it's kind of a part of the independent game circuit is what they call it, indie games.
Yeah.
And it's from guys who are just small studios. They're like maybe a one-man show who does everything, or maybe a 10-person team. They have low money. They don't have a lot of money. They just kind of put this stuff together. Some of them have full-time jobs outside.
Yeah.
And they make these games.
Do you watch PewDiePie?
No. I don't watch any streamers. I just watch strategic things of Rocket League. And Rocket League is soccer with race cars.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Like they jump around and stuff.
And it's awesome.
Is it?
It's awesome.
I just get bored.
Yeah, you'd be amazed.
That's the thing. These things don't keep my attention.
You'd be amazed. I mean, it just depends. Like, there's certain things. Like, I understand what you're saying, but for some reason, like for me being an athlete and wanting to play sports and hit that competitive edge, it's pretty normal where I'm pretty beat up and I'm sore. And playing Rocket League, I'm resting, I'm like icing, I'm recuperating, and I'm kind of getting this competitive edge where I'm scoring a goal. Like there's positioning involved. There's actually a strategy like defensive positioning and how you plan out your
Do you have a group of friends that you play with?
I do. Yeah.
Do you have a PS4? Is that what you play on?
I play. So now, since they did the Rocket League's now doing like their cross-platform stuff.
Yeah.
So you can play on all different platforms, which is really cool because my buddies play on PC.
Okay.
I'm playing on my Xbox.
Oh,
and
Xbox.
we can still link up together and we can play games online, which is, has never been done before.
Yeah.
Only, I believe, Rocket League and Fortnite, which obviously blew up the video game world over the last year.
Yeah.
But
which is dying out, isn't it?
Dying out, yeah. I mean, but that's what happens. Whatever comes up.
Hey, it made Ninja a couple mil.
Tons.
That's insane.
Tons.
So that
was a small studio, by the way, who made that. That was almost by accident how that whole thing happened.
Well, they've been sued a ton too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
I think that's just for the dances and stuff.
Probably. I'm sure once something gets that big, you're probably going to see lawsuits left and right.
Anyways,
people wanting a piece. Everyone wants a piece of that pie.
Yeah. So
but that's comes from an independent game studio, and so they were able to do something unique and different, and that's something that Call of Duty can't afford to do,
right?
Because that's hundreds of millions of dollars of their investment that could tank.
Yeah.
So Fortnite goes and makes this game, becomes super popular. What does Call of Duty do? They do the exact same thing now, and they do Battle Royale, and everybody else, all the big guys, are now doing Battle Royale. They're trying to take a piece because now they can kind of do it better. They got the funding,
right?
Granted, Fortnite they made tons of money, but they also have to kind of stay with what they are.
Yeah, they can't just go and
oh, by the way,
10 times.
Here we are. Now we're like Call of Duty. That doesn't work. And
so what's the newest Call of Duty? I don't even know.
So, Call of Duty is still putting out titles, not putting out.
That's what she said.
That a little bit, but like Apex Legends is the latest title that's been really big. That's kind of similar to a Fortnite, the Battle Royale.
And that's Call of Duty?
Yep, shooter.
Why can't I play my PS3 games on my PS4? That angers me.
Probably just like a hardware thing. I don't know.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Because I have a bunch of PS3 games that I would like to play.
They probably want your money, so.
Yeah.
But you can go backwards. At least, PS3, you can play your PS1 games. So
there was this one role-playing game.
Bandicoot.
Or Sonic.
Now it's Sega.
Oh. No, there was Sonic on PlayStation.
Oh, it was probably a shitty version.
They all are.
Fair.
There was this role-playing game on my PS1 that I wish I could find.
Final Fantasy?
No. It was something that it had the word clock in it, and it was about this doctor who went crazy, locked himself up in his lab, and his daughter had to go get him, and it was kind of like a horror suspense.
Ooh.
And I've never been able to find it. I've done hours of research.
Interesting.
To try to find it. Can't. I go to when I see Like there's in International District, there's a bunch of little stores that sell old vintage games.
Yeah.
Not there. But man, that game was a whole, and I never owned it. I rented it.
Oh, okay. From like a Blockbuster or something like that?
From a tiny little neighborhood video rental place.
A relic of our era.
Pretty much. My wife and I talk about that all the time, where we sort of miss it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
going to Blockbuster was part of the date.
Yeah. Friday night, man.
Going to Blockbuster, spending 45 minutes there looking for a movie, then getting something to eat.
That was my second job I ever had.
Blockbuster?
No, it was Hollywood Video.
Okay.
Yeah. And I worked the movie rental thing.
Where do you give recommendations?
They would always ask my recommendations. Was like, dude, I don't really watch I rent the video games. Like, that's what I do. I can give you some recommendations on the PS2 section, but that's about all I got.
Hollywood. No, we had Hollywoods too, I think, back in Chicago, I think. But no, this one, these little tiny ones that were just a bunch of where the horror and the porn were in their own little rooms.
Yeah, like the black curtain.
With the black curtain or the barn door. No,
I always
tried to saloon doors.
I always try to peek my head in there. My dad would yell at me. It's like,
They
son,
made it
pull
so
your pants up.
They made it so appealing.
Yeah. It's all taboo.
Did they have a sign there that says, please keep your pants on?
Yeah.
They would need it.
Which, back then I barely knew how to read, so.
You don't know how to. Oh, yeah, that's true.
I was like 12. I mean, what do you expect from me?
I think you should bring those back. I think there's only one Blockbuster left in the whole entire world.
Yeah, Bend, Oregon.
Yeah. No, it's in Alaska.
No, it's Bend.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's Bend.
Then there's two, because there's also one in Alaska.
Is there? All right.
There's still one in Alaska where there's no internet access.
Of course.
In this one little tiny oil town.
So they all think Blockbuster's still the biggest thing.
Hey, like I'm seeing the latest movie on DVD.
Yeah, Something About Mary just came out. You gotta go see it.
Are you a resolution nerd?
Nah, I know. Because I already know me that I'm not gonna follow through.
No, not resolution.
Oh.
Like 720 and 1080.
Oh,
like, do you need
gotcha.
to see?
Not really. No, I'd still
you'll watch a movie you want to see in like standard def.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a big time nerd.
Like standard def, I don't think I could handle anymore, because I'm like, what is this, 1993? Like I'm homie, don't play that. All right.
No, it looks horrible.
Yeah,
it looks horrible.
But if you were to say, hey, here's 720, like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can handle that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to offend me.
It's like, I remember when I was a kid and I got my first real job, the first thing I did was buy myself this 50-inch projection TV.
Yeah.
This big monster of a TV. And then hooked up the VCR to it, and it's like, oh, it's fine. And then when DVD players came out, like I bought my first DVD player for like $400.
Oh my God.
And then I bought a few DVDs, and I remember like watching a movie with my parents saying, "Look at how amazing this is," and they're like, I just could not tell the difference.
I remember seeing a DVD for the very first time. I was with my dad. We went to his best friend Bob's house, and we watched. I can't remember what movie it was. I want to say it was like Dumb and Dumber, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was that. But we played it on the DVD, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" He goes, "Look how fast I can fast forward." You go, and like, "Look, I can skip scenes." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "All right, now check this out." And then he switched the language. They start speaking like Spanish or French, and
now I can learn a new language.
I'm like, my brain is just exploding. Like I didn't have the ability to wrap my head around
of what was happening.
What was happening.
That's
that was
funny.
Craziness.
Yeah, I was super impressed with it. And then the PlayStation 3 was actually the first Blu-ray player. Like they took a big beating on. They made no money on the PS3.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that there was about $1,500 worth of tech in the PlayStation 3,
really?
And they were selling them for $600.
Wow.
So I still have my like the original PS3.
Wow.
It works perfect.
That's awesome.
The only thing that it does is the fan is really loud.
Okay.
It sounds like a lawnmower, which I think you can replace.
Yeah.
The fan on it. So I was curious the other day because I have the PlayStation 3 in the bedroom.
Do you know the gigs on it?
Yeah, I had two. Well, it originally came with like a 5, and I replaced the hard drive.
Okay.
So it has like 250 in there.
I remember that the 60 gig PS3, which was like a limited model that they did, had backwards compatible for all the previous PlayStation discs.
Oh.
And that was really unique to that model. So you could play the PlayStation 1 games and PlayStation 2.
Oh.
And that was a huge deal because PlayStation 2, they changed the disc like 3 times throughout its life cycle. And so it was really expensive for Sony to go and do that. And but this one model.
Oh, you know what? I had
all the
a
bells and whistles
PlayStation
in
2 too.
Yeah, I had a place. That's how I had my DVD player as a kid. Was I had a PS2.
Yeah, the
and a
PlayStation 2
PS3.
looked cool.
Yeah,
The
really
PlayStation
sleek
3 looks
design.
weird.
Yep, and I had the later one that was a little more slimmer, but still.
Yeah.
PS2 though has always had a sick look. PS4 is also really cool.
Well, it kind of looks like PS2.
Yeah, I think
They went retro on it a little bit. And I was reading that the 5 is going to be out within the year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And then I read that the new Xbox wasn't going to have an optical drive anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Just good old online. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, no, they do. They announced that system that's coming out that is no optical. It's just diskless.
Yeah.
But that's just like a streaming thing. It's not anything big.
So just a cheaper version?
Just a cheaper version.
But that's kind of risky, though. Would you want your whole library
To
in
me,
the cloud?
No. To me, no.
Yeah.
I think.
Because I own a bunch of movies on iTunes.
I don't think the world's ready yet for that.
No. That's so funny. We were talking about that the other day with the buddy, where all of the data that's on drives and all of the archiving that people do on drives, thinking that it's going to save information, but will it really? It's like in 100 years, are we still going to be using SATA cables to connect to, is there still going to, like right now, I needed to burn a song off of a CD and I had to go dig up an old computer with an optical drive because none of my computers have CD drives anymore. It's
my
and that's
gosh.
not even that long ago.
Right.
It's like, what's going to happen in 100 years when, it's going to be how do I plug this in? It's like, there's someone's going to find this drive.
Well, someone's gonna find an outlet and go, "What is this? Do I put
true,
my
too.
wiener in it? Like, is this what the glory hole was of the Middle Ages?"
It's like, what do we? And then my buddy was like, no, it should be fine. I said, there are languages of ancient cultures that we haven't been able to decipher.
Right.
And it's like, I'm pretty sure they thought, hey, this is our language. It'll probably be all right.
Oh, it's gonna be in the cloud, right? That's what they did. That's all we need to do. We just need to go back up their data or something. It'll
That's
be
right.
fine. We'll get all the hieroglyphics and.
Yeah, and it's like we don't know if it's gonna be. So I don't know how I feel about that because my iTunes movie library. What's so funny is that the thumbnails change.
Yeah.
And it's like, who decides this? Who decides what why? First of all, why do they need to change the thumbnail on Rocky 1 through 6?
That guy's got a killer job because you already know his one-on-one meetings with his boss. They're like, so how did all right, Bill, how did you changing thumbnails right now? It's like, oh yes, we just did the Dances with Wolves and now we're going to go and do, I don't know. Ghostbusters.
And then some Driving Miss Daisy.
Cool.
That will be a big one.
What's our viewership on that, Bill? Oh, I think we've had 2 people watching the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Good. We're using our time valuably.
And then the descriptions of the movies. Do you read the description of the movies on iTunes?
No.
You can totally tell they're written by millennials who maybe have not seen it.
Really?
They are some pretty ridiculous descriptions
That's amazing.
that focus on just crazy things that aren't part of it.
Really?
I think one of them was the Rocky one. The Rocky one, the description was the complicated relationship between a boxer and his coach. Like this, something just off the beat.
Right.
Like maybe they watched 5 minutes of it
As a boxing enthusiast, do you like the Rocky movies?
Oh, I watch them quarterly.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big repetition guy.
What is your favorite boxing movie? Like, is there a one that jumps out? I already know mine. Mine is easy for me.
Well, it'll probably be the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, but not just Rocky. I'm talking like all boxing related.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, do you ever see Cinderella Man?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, but you can't watch that one over and over and over
I
and over
could.
again.
Oh,
You can?
oh yeah.
I couldn't. It's too drama. It's too drama.
So deep.
It was cool.
The boxing was legit though.
There wasn't enough of it though.
Fair. Yeah.
Like I need
like-
quarterly I watch.
But like Rocky, it's like professional wrestling. I mean, you just
I
like,
like it.
haymaker does a bah!
I watch them all the time. I watch all of the Rambos all of the time.
So you're a big Stallone guy then.
Well, just those.
Okay.
Just those two. So the actually, there's something wrong with me because
Well, we figured that out.
I watch The Godfather all the time.
Okay.
Godfather 2 all the time. And then lately I've been watching John Wick and John Wick 2 all the time. And it's
Okay.
like when I'm doing stuff like editing or
Yep.
just working
Kind of got
on
that in the background.
working
kind
on
of thing.
yeah, I have it on. So I must have seen Godfather and Godfather 2 30, 40 times, John Wick 50 times.
Right.
Because I just have it on all
Yeah.
the time. And like my new favorite ones are Ready Player One.
Haven't seen that one. Yeah.
So good.
I want to see that.
The
It also
whole
makes me kind of nervous.
the oblivious why?
It's just like, oh, great. Is that going to be our society eventually?
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. There's the cliche read the book first.
Right.
But Steven Spielberg did a really good job
Nice.
with making the movie.
Okay.
So I watch all of those just on repeat all the time. Like even A-Team with Liam Neeson
Okay.
and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I watch that, 3 or 4 times a year because
Okay.
it's just a fun movie to have in the background. when
Easily
you're-
digestible.
Yeah, just easy. You don't have to pay too much attention.
Totally.
I don't like to during the day. I don't like to have stuff on where you have to pay attention because then I'll never get anything done.
That's why my wife married me, because I can just start talking. She doesn't have to pay attention, and I'm still happy.
She can focus on
Yeah,
something else.
she can focus on something much more important. Bless her heart.
Wives.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you got a good one. How long have you been married?
Almost 4 years.
Wow, you're a baby in
I know.
marriage.
Well, we've been together it'll be 11 this year.
Oh, that's cool.
So we dated it through college. So we did like the long distance, and we lived together, then long distance again while we were like graduating in different times.
Yeah.
So the first like 3-4 years were just wonky, but then we all kind of
Hey, that's
settled down to be adults.
built the character.
I got some character.
Lori and I, in July is our 10th anniversary, but we've been together 17 or 18, I think.
Nice.
And we did long distance
Did
at
you?
the start too, because I lived in Chicago and she lived here.
Whew. That's longer than Ellensburg in Seattle.
Yeah. So every month, either she or I flew here or back to Chicago.
Yeah.
So that happened for a year.
Really?
And then it's like, you know what? I gotta move.
Yeah.
Because when I started flying here, I could get a round trip ticket for like $140.
Yeah.
And then a year later, it had shot up to like $250.
Yeah.
And then now, if we can find one to Chicago for $400, then it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Stupid inflation.
God damn it.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. I had a blast.
Like I like talking about sports. I like telling people how much I hate LeBron.
Yes. And that's fine. You are totally
I should
entitled
start
to that.
I hate LeBron Facebook group.
I mean, between myself and Mo, like I feel like we're already on an anti-LeBron podcast. You can bring us, we can try to defend him, and then you just like, no,
oh, that's what I do.
yeah.
And I had my other buddy on. His name is Steve.
Okay.
And he tried to make an argument for LeBron logically, and then I just kept on saying no, no, and then he just got irritated at me. And but no, I pretty much hate him.
Okay.
He ruined the Lakers for me.
Yeah.
He should just retire.
I mean, he's still got some left in the tank.
Should injury rich force him to retirement.
We'll see.
Maybe not beheaded. Maybe let's not see him beheaded.
Right.
Maybe torn bicep that doesn't let his arm extend as much anymore.
Okay.
Maybe caught in crossfire and.
Don't you just want to maybe just send him over to the Knicks and just let him just rot over there?
No, what's the worst team than the Knicks? To the Pelicans.
That's yeah.
We never hear about the Pelicans.
Yeah. Well, the Knicks, they've just kind of become the laughing stock of the NBA because
They've been
this
the
giant market, but they can't do anything.
Which is crazy, isn't it? Is Phil Jackson still the GM over there?
No, I think they finally put him out.
He did a horrible job.
Yeah.
Neither of them are especially good at running teams.
Right.
Jordan's not great either.
No.
He just has money. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jordan with the Bobcats.
Bobcats.
There, you send LeBron over there. He can hang out with your boy Michael. They could become
hate
best
each
friends.
other.
They could debate. Oh, I know. Well, isn't that what you want to see? Like Michael and LeBron fight to the death.
No, I just want him to ride off into the sunset.
There you go. And then
Maybe off of a
have his
cliff.
horse fall over.
Yeah. Maybe drive over a cliff, but no one knows, so it takes them a couple weeks to find him.
Okay. Everyone's
he's-
always on LeBron like 24/7. People will just notice.
Well, he would have lost signal.
Right.
He would have been driving through this very wooded area, lost signal, crashed. They don't find him for 2 weeks, half eaten by coyotes.
Jesus.
Like someone, like hornets,
Whoa.
made a nest in his skull.
Charlotte Hornets. That was sent by Michael.
So yes, this is how much I do not like LeBron James.
Well, LeBron listens to this podcast all the time, so I just want to say, hey, LeBron, I support you.
Yeah.
But
Free speech.
yeah,
You can say that.
No.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to plug, share?
I'm not that interesting of a guy, but
I think you should do Dance Sports Minute. Like we can come to the studio, record like a bunch of them.
Okay.
And then I'll put them into every show.
I'm all about that.
Would you be cool with it? Would that sound interesting to
That
you?
would sound really interesting.
So it could be like because I want to do segments.
All right.
But if you do Dance Sports Minute, we can literally record, 15 or 20.
I only have one request.
Yeah.
My segue into the Dan Sports Minute has to be like the horn thing, like bam, 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 bam. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to be introduced to the Dan Sports Minute.
You
And
have
then
a
I
great
come in.
voice. You could do your own.
There we go. We just did our bit right there.
Well, there you go. That's a great idea. You should do it.
All right.
We should do it. We should write, I don't know, however many ideas you have, and then we'll record them. And then it's just like literally 1 minute.
I'm in.
And then we'll actually, you know what I thought you was going to say? I thought you were going to say you got to play the music to remember the George Michael sports machine with those. He had a segment on late night news, and it had very corny 90s music to it.
I want corny type of segue music. That'd also be
We can do
good.
that. We should totally do that. So that's your homework.
All right.
And then, that would be super cool. We could call it Dan Sports Minute or Dan Super Sports Minute.
Yeah.
Or Dan Hogcap.
I don't
We
know.
need to incorporate your last name into it somehow.
Ha 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 cat. Everyone giggles. Ah.
All right, we got to work on that.
All right.
Well, thank you again so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. iTunes, Stitcher, hopefully iHeartRadio, and merch.
Merge.
I haven't posted the merch yet, but look at the merch. I have t-shirts for men and women
Nice.
and a coffee mug
Ooh.
because that's cool, I guess.
Well, everyone needs a coffee mug.
Everyone needs a lot of coffee mugs.
Are you one of those households that has like an exponentially unreasonable amount of coffee mugs?
Yeah,
the
we
amount
have
of people
about
that live in the
30
house? Yeah.
for 2 people,
And you have that many people that live in this house?
but only 2 at a time.
Of course. Of course.
We have Starbucks cups from everywhere.
Really? Oh, you like collect those things?
So they're at least there's a theme.
Yeah.
And I have a Scarface cup.
Nice.
Gotta got to drink out of Scarface.
Well, I keep talking too much. I keep ruining your sign off, so I should probably just let you do it.
That's okay.
But this is my show now. Welcome to the Dan Hawkeye podcast.
Dude, you have a great voice. That would be super cool. I think it would work.
Yeah, why not?
We got to talk about that some more.
All right.
All right. So yeah, subscribe and all that stuff. Look at the merch. Click on the links. If you're in Capitol Hill or Wallingford, go to Rancho Bravo Tacos.
Oh, yes.
And if you need headshots, if you want to look professional, you need a good headshot for LinkedIn. Is there any other business social media?
Craigslist Personals.
Craigslist Personals. If you want to appear to be super professional, look at CZ Media.
Indeed. Maybe you need that. I don't know.
India. You're like, on the CV, the headshot on the CV. So contact CZ Media. They're linked too. They do portraits, headshots, family, food. If you have a restaurant, then you get some.
If you really suck at your Instagram photos, CZ Media can just come in, take a picture, probably steal some of your food too.
A little, eat the food.
Yeah.
And get you some good content. So yeah, do all that stuff. And Dan, thanks again.
Thank you.
And we'll be back. Bye.
So hot.